So hopefully we are back. I don't know if we have anybody here, and I don't think we do. I spent the last 15 or 20 minutes, I guess, probably the last 20 minutes trying to get technical support on the line. But anyways, this is part two, I guess. Itty the day, commit, don't quit. Defreeze has set in. I call it part three because I don't know if we're back. Do we have anybody? Stokes Explorer. I see the name. I'm just wondering. I just hope that. I don't know if we have anybody here. I don't know if Stokes. Are you? Oh, you are here. Okay, good. I'm so sorry. My problem is I've just spent the last 25 minutes on with tech support, and our connection got dropped. And oh man. It started about last night, about 9 or 10 o'clock, and we lost the connection, and it would go off every 5-10 minutes, then come back on. And then I went live here about 35 minutes ago, and about 10 minutes in, we dropped off. Yes, I'm here. Good, good, good. Thanks a lot. I think you may be the only person here, and I really appreciate it. I mean, if you got to get going, I understand completely. But thanks again for coming. I appreciate it. So, needless to say, I called tech support. I called my wife, and she says, give them a call, see what's going on. So I called, and I basically stayed on the line for the fella that says, oh, yeah, no problem. And he gave me the runaround. He said, they ask you all these goofy security questions like, what's your password, what's your PIN number, what's the email on file. So you give him all this stuff, and the guy comes on, nope, that's wrong. I'm like, I know it's right, but because we provided it to him. But anyways, this guy gives me the runaround, says, oh, no, we have no problems. But yeah, so needless to say, hopefully I don't drop out again, but we seem to be having some technical issues, and they didn't seem to want to help, so just kind of resolved my own problem, it looks like. But when you call them and they say, oh, no, it's not a problem on our end, but it seems to be. Well, hey Sylvia, how are you? I was just watching the replays. Yeah, no, imagine, I don't even know how long that lasted. And the funny thing, I was on the last stream, and I was about 4 or 5 minutes before I realized the stream got knocked out. I didn't realize even that I was off the connection. I was reading through, talking to everybody, and then I got down to the end of the stream, finally, the end of the chat. I looked, and the chat says you've been disconnected. I said, oh, that's fantastic. So I sat there for 5 minutes talking to pretty much nobody, because nobody even knew that I was, I didn't even know I was offline. Malia says, is it the weather I seen on Twitter? Minus 40 wind chill at Ottawa airport. Yes, I know that we technically it was minus 20, and then with the wind chill it was minus 30 Celsius here today. But I mean, it technically could be the weather. But it's funny that tech support, they just say no problems at all. But Stokes Explorer, they know how to take you off. Oh my gosh, do they ever? Don't they? They'll. And I knew right away when I got this fella I needed to hang up. He started to give him the spiel that it's not our problem. It's not our problem. I'm like, well, we're paying you, so either fix it or we'll find somebody else. But yeah, this fella, he right from the get go, he was reading from a script. I wanted to ask him to check this, but I knew if I'd have said that would have blown his mind. So I just went with his shtick and just let him go off. And then when he started to peeve me off, I said, okay, enough. I think I told him off and I hung up on him. But were you in OBS? Yes, I was in OBS, but the only good thing is I noticed at the bottom of the chat it said you were disconnected, but the problem was I'd been talking for 4 or 5 minutes at the time and didn't even realize I was offline. Desmond Donders, hey Dave, I'm back again, and I was off for about 20 minutes. I was literally talking to everybody, I thought, and then I realized I looked down at the bottom of the chat, and I've actually talked for almost 5 minutes and didn't even know I was offline. Our connection's been going on and off all day for the last 24 hours, and so I called in the meantime while I was off here for the last 20 minutes. I called tech support, ran into this goofball that didn't want to help me. He told me everything, that our PIN number was wrong, or email that we had on file was wrong. I didn't have the right address, and he kept telling me that I had this plugged in, I was running wireless, and everything's hardwired right now. Nobody else except one of the kids is home, and they're just upstairs playing on a little hand control game, so they're not even online. But oh yeah, he gave me the runaround, and I thought it was funny. Anyways, I won't make it about that. But that's where I was right for the last 20 minutes, so I apologize. It was 9 minutes. Was it? Sorry about that. I didn't have any idea. I know that literally he got under my skin. I was great till that happened. Then talked to him, and they kind of set you off sometimes. Sylvia says, I know my internet gets more laggy when the weather's bad here. My ISP is in Brampton, I think. Yeah, no, usually, you know what, I'm pretty good. And I told him right from the get-go when I called, I said, if it's technical issues because of the weather, just let me know so I don't have to sit there and go through the spiel with him. And he said, no, everything's good. And then after everything, he pretty much told me, I can't help you. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So I just hung up on him. Stokes Explorer says, we have changed our providers. They're changing more and more each month. Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, we had another one provider, and we'd been with them like 6 or 7 years, had no problem. And then they shut us down for no apparent reason because we tried to upgrade our service. And to try to get everything back, they said, we're going to send you a new modem to get you back online. And then they send us the old modem. So we ran around with them for over a week and a half and decided to cut them right out of the picture and go with this other company. And we've had no problems, but it looks like sometimes it's just the person you call, I guess. Ray Sims, hey buddy, how are you? I'm done talking about it. I won't bug everybody because I sound like a kind of a goofball going on like this. But my internet in my area is not the highest internet speed. Nah, Sylvie, you know what? I think it's the weather, truthfully. I think he just didn't want to let me know. Yeah, it could be OBS too, Sylvia. You're right. Learn habit. Hey, everybody, include the wise of the day. Yeah. Well, you know what? That's hilarious. I love it. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Oh, hey, Stokesy, when you sent me that message, did you watch it? I hadn't watched it at the time, part two, but when I watched it, I said, oh my gosh, I don't know how you did it, you two. I think I would have freaked out. Your latest one, not the latest one, but the one before that, the part two, the claustrophobic one. Oh my gosh, I would have freaked out completely the minute you got down in there. And second of all, I don't think I could have scrunched myself down in that position. But do you guys carry like a spare light or whatever, or spare switch if something went out on you? But yeah, I would have freaked right out. But it was interesting. It sure was, and I think it had everybody on the edge of their seat. It really did. Sylvia said, did you try to reset the modem when you were off? No, Sylvia, you know what? I'll tell you what happened. In the meantime of calling them, the internet came back on. But unfortunately, I was technically just trying to... I was trying to call them because I figured instead of going back on and getting disconnected, I thought, I'll just call them, get everything back up and running. This guy, like I said, we get different people sometimes when we call them. It is what it is. Yeah, OBS does slow down everything. My live cut off and my music video got screechy. Yeah, no, I think it does that sometimes. I think it does. Drew Food Reviews. Hey, hi again. Yes, anybody that did come on and I cut out, I apologize. My internet went off, and technically, there's not a darn thing you can do. I even tried to get my what do you call it, data. I turned my data on to try to get that going. By the time that loaded, I was on the call, and it just took a bit. That was it. Stokes Explorer says that was the only small part of it I had to turn back as my friend was very worried. And yes, we do take spares. Yeah. No, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like I said, it was fantastic, and you kept as keen as anybody could. My nerves would have been shot. I imagine I would have been just like your friend. I probably would have been panicking more. But I said to my wife, I said, Joe, I don't know how they're doing it. Just watching it, my hands are sweating. Oh gosh, no, but it was fun. It's fantastic. I loved it. But I felt for you guys. I felt for you guys when you're doing it. I thought, oh my gosh, it must have been. Maybe you panicked too, but you sure didn't show it. That's for sure. You kept your cool. Yeah, Sylvia, I am going to try to reset it. I'll unplug everything. Sometimes I'll leave it unplugged 5-10 minutes just to clean it out and stuff. I just really didn't have the time when I was doing it. But yeah, I'll definitely do that. I honestly think, to be truthful, it was the weather and this fella. When I called him, he's from out west, out east. I think he's from Halifax, he said. So he's nowhere close to us, so he can run all the tests or whatever he wants. But the lines are here, and yeah, I know. I did tech support almost 15 years ago for a long time, and I don't usually need to call them, but I just wanted to see if it was something on their end, like if it was a problem in the air. That's the reason I called. Learning habit like 7. Yes. Florida Pirate stopped by to say hi. No deep freeze here. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's so darn cold. -20 this morning, and then with the wind chill, -30. And it's funny, if you go up north here, 6 or 7 hours north of here, it's like -40, 41, and then with the wind chilled up and further north area, it's -50, -51. So it's too cold for me. Sylvia says just 30 seconds. Yeah, no, I realize. Oops, sorry about that. I hit the desk and it kind of shook everything. But we learned that from Green Bay. Yes, no, I realize power cycle everything. I just, I lost my patience when I ran into this fella, and I should have just did that in the first place. It would have fixed everything. Desmond's daughter, possibly Newfoundland. Yeah. Oh, you know what? If you'd heard this fella, I felt like telling him to go stick it where the sun doesn't shine. That's for sure. And I think I actually might have told him to go stick. I might have used a couple of profanities I won't use on here, but I told him to stick it up his. You know what? But oh well, whatever. I couldn't deal with the guy. I thought, you know what? He was just a young guy, and I thought, enough of this. Folks Explore. Thank you. I'll try to keep my cool. Really appreciate your support, dude. Oh, no worries, mate. Like I said, I love your stuff, and that I always watch it every single time. I must have missed it. I don't know why. Sometimes the notifications, or could have just been me, but I missed that one. I definitely did. I didn't know there was a second part to it. What is it? Metaconda Films. Hey, how are you? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Not your average JoJo. Hello, everybody. Joe, I'm back. And I dealt with tech support out of Halifax. I got a young guy that was just a jack, you know what. And he told me it was not on their end. He said that I was plugged into this. I was using Wi-Fi. Our pin was wrong. Our address wasn't wrong when he asked the email. I gave him your email, mine, and nope. Everything was wrong. So I knew right away when I talked to this guy that I wasn't going to run into, I wasn't going to get any assistance. And at the end, I told him to go stick it, and I hung up on him. So that was pretty much it. Well, we have -40 at the Ottawa airport. Yikes. Florida Pirate says, wow, it's 62 here. Oh, I could go for 62 right now. I forget, I was talking to somebody. I said, I can't wait for spring to get here. It's, we've only had this like a week now, and I'm done with it. I said to my wife this morning, I took her to work, and I said, enough of this. I said, let's get this darn stuff over with, get spring going. I think we have, about 5 or 6 weeks of winter left, and then usually by the end of February, beginning of March, the weather switches around. So if we can get through February, we're good. Good. Sylvia Wawia says, when you're not live, I've been resetting mine. Yeah, you know what? Usually I do too, Sylvia. I just, everything had been working, and I should have known better. You know what? Even my wife says, no big deal. If you have to go off today, it could be the weather. I said, you're right. Joe says, it's all good. Don't let the experience ruin your day. Now it's work. Oh, no, Joe, I know. I've just, I start telling everybody. And, when you get that goofballs on the phone and stuff like that when you're talking to them, that's all it was. But, yeah, no, day's perfect. The day is good. Did you guys change your logo? Yes, we did, Sylvia. My wife changed it up because, the other one, she just kind of made it she spruced it up, that's all. I noticed a lot of people are changing things and stuff. And ours was just basically done through Windows when we first started. And we started this back in August of last summer, and just about 5-6 months ago now. And literally she turned Windows on. She says, here's a program that says you can make a logo with it. So we typed our name in. She says, puts this like a stripe, orange, white little stripe through it or whatever. I said, perfect.